I'm Jessica Minton for IB Times TV, and joining me today is the president and CEO of Ascensus, Bob Guillocheau, and he's here to talk about the retirement plans his organization provides, as well as where he sees the future of retirement headed. Now, Bob, thank you so much for joining me today.
Great to be here, Jessica. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, for those who are not familiar with Ascensus, what is it that your organization does, and what retirement services do you provide?
Well, Ascensus really does the administration and record keeping for retirement plans. So we're not in the asset management side, so we refer to ourselves as a pure play service provider. And we provide those services to 44,000 U.S. companies and their 1.7 million employees. In addition to retirement plans, we also do administration and compliance for IRAs. We have about 1.4 million IRA accounts that we do that for, and another 100,000 or so health savings accounts. We just announced an acquisition that's closing in early December of a company called UPromise, which is the largest third-party provider of 529 higher ed savings accounts. So they have 2.7 million of those accounts. So, in aggregate, Ascensus is really helping 5.9 million Americans save for the important things in life, things like retirement, education, and healthcare.
Now, what companies do you work with?
Our focus is on really the small business market. So, our typical company has got 100 or fewer employees. Now, that's not to say that, we really can offer the gamut. The largest plan that we provide record-keeping administrations to has over $1 billion in assets and more than 20,000 participants in the plan. But that's really the sort of the real flat tail of our bell-shaped curve. Our classic account would be a company of 100 or so employees.
What exactly makes your organization unique, and what sort of competitive advantages do you offer?
Well, I think that the purity of our model, we don't compete with our clients in any way. We're really, advisor focused. So the business that comes to Ascensus, those 44,000 plans, we don't have salespeople that are out knocking on ABC companies' doors saying, you really ought to offer a great benefit like a 401k plan to your employees. We really partner with, financial advisors and with, major firms like a Merrill Lynch and an LPL, all the major distributors in the industry. And we really partner with those advisors so that they can, help build their book of business. And so it's really in partnership with them, as well as, other firms like a Vanguard that also sell direct as well as through advisors. And so, that is how we go to market. Again, we don't compete with anyone, and we feel as though we provide a tremendous amount of value in relationship to the cost of the services that we provide.
Now, when it comes to issues like fee disclosures, how exactly is that now impacting retirement planning?
Well, I think certainly, 408b2, which is the sponsor side of the disclosure rules, and 404, which is the participant disclosures, are new in terms of regulatory in the last year or so. I think, as a large provider to the market, we haven't really seen any seismic changes. The number of phone calls that we were really geared up to get a lot of calls from sponsors and participants, and that never really happened. I think in part, at Ascensus, we've always been very transparent around our fees because, again, we don't do any of the asset management. We don't really bundle our pricing. We have an explicit agreement with the plan sponsor that spells out exactly what we do. So maybe our client base is such that it wasn't a very significant thing. But by and large, as I talk to others in the industry, there really hasn't been anything dramatic. Now, I do think that, fiduciary obligations of plan sponsors to be aware of those fees is a very, very important thing. And obviously for our business, we think it's actually a very good thing because, as I said, our value proposition is all about delivering really high-quality service for, what we think is a tremendous amount of value and an attractive price.
And finally, where exactly do you see the future of retirement planning headed?
Well, I think that one of the big challenges that is out there is retirement readiness for the 50-plus million Americans that are covered in defined contribution plans today. We still have a major coverage issue, as our focus is in companies with 100 and fewer employees. Less than 50% of the companies of 100 or fewer employees actually offer a workplace retirement savings plan. So there's a big opportunity from a societal standpoint to have a greater degree of coverage relative to what we think strongly is around the private employer-sponsored retirement scheme. But even at that, within it is the readiness of the participants. Americans need to save more. And I think that it's really going to be a combination of greater coverage for employers offering the plans. I think all the auto features that are taking a real strong hold in the industry today, automatic enrollment, automatic step-ups, in the rate of savings, the deferral rate, all those are important because I think fundamentally, for most people at least, they need to be saving 10 to 15% of their gross income through a retirement plan.
Well, Bob, thank you again so much for joining me. It was a pleasure.
Great. Thanks for having me, Jessica.